the way he really act. Well, tell him mayor back, don't worry, mayor back. She want a nigga that can really blow out her back. Well, tell him mayor back, don't worry, mayor back. They want a nigga that can turn the...
That's what the.
This is the beautiful Mia Moore.
Hello. On Ustream, Periscope,
Wherever you watching.
right?
Periscope right here.
Whatever, right?
Ustream right here. Periscope, Ustream. And we got JB Frank in the building.
No doubt. Hail to the. They losing now, but y'all get the idea.
I was like, wait a minute.
Y'all get the idea. I'm
sleeping.
supporting.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. As long as you stay true to your team,
Daggone
that's
right.
all that
I can't
matters.
even.
That's
Before
right.
we even get any further, JB, you got to break down. I see you got your Skins gear on.
Right
we
now.
know you're a Skins fan.
Yeah, born and raised in Washington, D.C.,
Okay.
traditional Skins fan. They play right up the street from my parents' house. Anyway, they are playing right now right up the street
Yep.
from my parents' house. The Packers are now ahead of the Redskins. I believe the score is 24-18, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Redskins are 6 points down, but it's still like
Into the
seven.
third.
Yeah, like the third quarter just ended, I think. So we got plenty of time to get it back. Two things to note, New. This is the highest scoring playoff game so far, in total.
Okay.
So
wow, okay.
yeah, so let's see what it do, man. Let's see what
Yeah,
it do.
and I want to talk about these wristbands. These Redskin wristbands.
Oh yeah.
He was in DC last week.
This is a shout out. This is love. This is me showing love right here to my second mom, Aunt Joyce, New the mayor's mom. She, I came by just to stop by and say hello. New was gonna hang with his aunt for the day, and I wanted to say hi. And she's like, oh, you know what? You're a Redskins fan, because I came earlier and I was wearing my Redskins pajamas, because I'm a Redskins
Oh
fan.
my gosh.
So she was like, I've had these Redskins wristbands for the longest time. I meant to give them to you. Here you go. I was like, oh my goodness. This is
That's so sweet.
yeah, but y'all gotta understand these Redskins wristbands they're definitely older than you, Mia.
Yeah.
They might be older than us.
Yeah,
Like, these Joneses,
These are old vintage.
so you can
Oh,
see
wow.
I've double wrapped it around my wrist because the elastic
Is that
is
loose?
no longer elastic. It's
Gotta
just
get that
some
snapback.
extra-
Should
Right.
have did some Kegels.
Right?
Wristband.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Awful.
so done. I'm so done.
Awful.
Awful. No.
Awful.
Okay, never mind.
Anyway.
I may have heard something about that. I don't know.
Goodness
I don't know.
gracious. I will take a drink to
I am
that.
through.
All right.
I'm so
Well.
through with you.
All right. Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year.
Everybody.
Happy New Year, y'all. Happy New Year. Before we really get into the show, any resolutions, anything? Give us one. Something you threw out there. Anything. Me like what?
I don't. Every time I do a resolution, I never stick to it. That's just real life. So just for me to be a better person and and to continue to be fleeky. That's about it.
Oh, okay.
Do
Fleeky.
y'all know what fleeky is? I don't know.
That is
Anybody?
So you know what I
that
love about
is
this
the-
Periscope? I get to have sidebar conversations with someone else aside from just New or you. That is awesome. We're gonna have a
that
great
is
time.
the adjective for the word fleek.
I get it. On fleek. Everything on fleek.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of.
I'm fleeky too.
There you go. See, boom.
Yeah.
JB, what is your resolution?
To learn
My
the word
first
fleeky.
resolution.
Y'all real funny. Y'all real funny. Okay.
Fleeky
Okay.
is.
That's
Okay.
alright.
Once I accomplish that considerable goal, yeah, but I just want to be more thorough this year than I was last year.
Okay.
Everything that I was doing last year, I want to do better. And it's kind of like my resolution every year. Sometimes you focus on one thing or another, but you generally want to improve from year to year. So that's my
Yeah.
resolution.
I feel that.
Yeah. And I was in the same place. My resolution for this year is aim higher. I've been saying aim higher for 2-3 years, but at the end of the day, I think what makes my resolutions like different from like I'm gonna lose 10 pounds. I'm like I'm gonna get in better shape. You know what I'm saying? I haven't. It doesn't need to be 10 pounds,
Yeah,
100
don't put
pounds.
a number
Be
on
able to
it.
run 1,000 miles. I'm just going to generally improve, and I think
Right.
those resolutions kind of help a
Absolutely.
little bit more than I'm gonna drop 80 pounds by August, and it's, like
Absolutely.
I got my individual goals. I know what they are, but
Mm-hmm.
as a general rule, I just want to aim higher and literally aim higher. So I'm not kind of
Don't make resolutions.
make
Make
affirmations.
affirmations.
Okay, I'm with that.
And hold yourself accountable for it.
I agree. And you gotta have
rocks with it.
an accountability buddy. Would I say somebody that's gonna check you? Like
Man,
you said you was going.
That's
You
I
said
got one of them.
That's real.
So as long as so get you an accountability buddy and do your affirmation, not your resolution. Shout out to the beautiful Lay. And she's supposed to be here. She's not feeling too well now. But before the month is up, maybe bring her in for Valentine's Day show. And she can sit right next to me on the Valentine's Day show.
I'm so sweet with this. Like, I can't.
So, what's the hot topic for the day, y'all? What's going on? Yes, and that was a bad segue. And yes, it was that conversation.
I'm done.
Again, sidebar, just so you know, I was trying to stop him from continuing. Anyway, so did y'all buy your Powerball tickets yet?
I hit the Powerball. I won. I won.
How much you won?
I won 900 million. But I was like, you know what? It's a lot of people that played that didn't have the year I had last year. Just give them the money back, and let's do it again next week.
Do y'all see my Periscope? Do y'all see my face?
Let's give them another chance. So now it's 1.3 billion, and you're all welcome. You're all welcome.
Do y'all see my face?
Ain't
no way.
$1.3 billion. $1.3 billion.
That's what it is now.
Yeah, they're saying the cash payout at this point, if you take the cash and you deduct the taxes, is like, well north of 500 million.
Yeah, it's like $806 million.
Yeah. I think that's the cash payout. But then if you take taxes out for that, I think it drops down to like the sixes somewhere.
That's fine by me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
$600 million more than I had.
I don't remember. We'll figure it out. We'll double check it. But I think the 1.3 billion. I think he still walked away with about 800 million.
Even after taxes.
Even after taxes and after the cash option.
Really?
Because taxes are only, what are they? They weren't 48%, were they?
Taxes can be up to 48% on bonuses and awards.
She said you.
Well,
I love it. She said you need a detox because you full of crack, but she ain't say crack though.
What? I did turn the shit down for stuff for y'all, man. I did that. That was me from the heart.
Goodbye. Anyway.
Let's say it's only 600 million.
I'm saying like whatever. It's $600 million. Like
JB, just give me. I'm gonna give you 20 seconds. We're gonna time you. I want you to tell me what you would do with $600 million, and me and you next. I'll put JB on the spot, but I'm gonna actually time this. You get 20 seconds to tell me what you would do with $600 million, and go.
Kill all my family's debt, buy a new car, create a college fund, invest in property, start a real estate empire, start a record label, start a foundation, try and cure cancer, try and cure AIDS, finance a revolution in a foreign country.
Man, that was pretty good. That's pretty good. What was the last one? I want to finish.
Finance a revolution in a foreign country.
That's
just for fun. Okay. I mean, it's something that great men do. That I want to do it.
I can dig it. All right, you got 20 seconds to spend $600 million. How would you spend it on? I'm telling you, Miley said go. I don't know what to say. Eeny, meeny, miny, go.
I would start a college fund for all of the children in my family. I would donate money into small businesses that I believe in and that are doing something positive in life. And I would also tithe. Before I do anything, I would tithe it. And then buy a lot of hair.
Oh.
Yep.
A lot of hair?
Yep.
Expound on that last one.
Really
Okay,
interesting
well,
answer.
I'm a hairstylist, so
Yeah.
extensions. I mean, everybody, loves extensions, and I do too. And I like to make wigs and stuff, so I would be a different person every day.
All right.
Oh,
All right, dude. Oh, here we go.
Somebody was spending money on cocaine and hookers.
oh my god.
Shout out to
Okay.
Periscope. Remember, you used to watch the show on Periscope.
Oh my god.
Ustream? Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Mine ain't gonna be that crazy.
Here we go. Ready, set, go.
I'm building a school in America for young African Americans to give them the tools outside of basic education they need to be successful. I'm gonna start a record label. I'm gonna buy an island. I'm gonna build my own mansion. I'm gonna build my own little compound where my whole family can live in it. And I'm gonna do something to convince Bernice Burgos to enjoy this with me.
Time. You went a little over on the last one, but I allowed you to explain it because you lost me. You were like
For
convinced
real?
I was like, oh,
But
okay.
then
Bernice.
Yeah,
You know Bernice.
yeah,
I can't
As soon
do.
as you finish the name, I got it. But
I
yeah,
can't do.
I got it.
I can't do.
Anyway, so
You gotta read this one. I would buy the skins and use them as practice for the Cowboys.
you go.
That must be a Cowboy fan.
Not with $600 million. You're not. Dream a little dream. That's not gonna happen.
Absolutely.
That's not gonna happen. You gotta spend the money you have, not the money you think that it is. Nice try though.
And something else is not going to happen is the Redskins are not going to win this game.
Yeah, probably
The Packers
not.
just went up 32-18. You scared you scared them all.
I'm getting out of here.
I'm out of here.
You try
Redskins
to carry the
stuff.
Redskins. You just gotta expect to. You gotta expect that to happen.
Right?
Come on,
All
go
right.
home.
So we did our resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
How did you spend New Year's? Let's go on to that. Then we'll take a break and we'll get into our big topics, our big stories.
No doubt.
And this is
no
where you
doubt.
guys can call in and text in. The next round, we're going to be discussing Bill Cosby, what's happened in his case.
Right.
And we're also going to be, well, I guess I'll break this story down now to give you guys time to think
good
about
idea.
it. And then we'll go into the rest of our opening. But there was a father in New York who was with his daughter. They were walking through a park about 11:30 at night. His daughter's about 18. 5 men showed up on the scene. One pulled out a gun. They ordered the father to basically leave the scene, leave his daughter there, or they would kill him. He leaves, goes to call the police, call 911, shows up later with police officers, and his daughter had been raped by 5 men at that point.
Okay. Kim,
So
you didn't open a can of worms.
we'll talk about that in a minute, and we got to talk about what we did New Year's. Before we get, I'm gonna change it all the way around. Before we get into those, let's go back to New Year's. And one of our viewers just said he spent his New Year's running from his neighbor's gunshots with me. And that's a true story. Shout out Kel, my man tuned in tonight. We was together with New Year's party, big party, and there was gunshots going off, and we was like, "Yeah, are those firecrackers?"
Yeah,
That's
nah. You in DC.
And then we looked over and saw the neighbor. Like, you the one shooting? Oh, Happy New Year!
Oh my God!
So yeah, that was a crazy story. But you hear, you know how you hear the firecrackers? Oh yeah, it's New Year's. It's something right now.
No.
Wait a minute.
Firecrackers and gunshots.
Goddamn
So different.
No.
That's not a firecracker. And why is your neighbor holding a microphone?
Wait
Wait a minute, that's not a microphone. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Oh my
I don't know
God.
how that became such an incredible tradition in DC, but Bama's just busts off in DC.
I think that's every hood.
That's
I think that's every hood.
Yeah.
But it's not just in the hood in DC though. It's like I've been to New Year's like all over DC, and it's just been pop, pop, pop. I was at a party like right off of Capitol Hill in Northwest, like inside the Capitol complex, and we heard gunshots like around
crazy.
like
Well, DC ain't but 11 miles.
yeah, you right.
They're gonna, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a hood tradition.
It's I don't get it though. Like I really
Yeah,
don't.
I don't know. I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, it's like busting out like that, like machine guns.
Now you were there, so JB was with us.
Yeah.
Man, what did you do then years?
I actually had a big New Year's pajama party with
Okay.
my family and boyfriend's family. So
Okay.
we had a lot of
All
fun.
y'all got together.
Yes, like it was a house full of children and adults, and we played spades and we ate spaghetti. Oh, let me tell you about my spaghetti though. Because everybody requested spaghetti, and I was like, all right, cool. And when I tell you there was no spaghetti left, Chef Boyard Mia. I'm telling you that right now. My spaghetti was real good. Yeah.
So you'll be making that for game night Wednesday?
Indeed.
Bet. Okay, cool.
Indeed.
Moving right along. Let's take a quick break.
No doubt.
A quick music break. We'll get into some videos. Shout out to everybody watching on Ustream, Leia. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody watching on Periscope. We'll take a quick music break.
You've been eye-guzzling that show for 58 episodes. Oh God, there they are. The final credits. You've fallen into a show hole.
That's Mia's voice, by the way.
To do great things,
AKA the Black CNN. And that gangster manly voice you just heard was none other than Mia.
You so extra petty.
What up?
That's okay. That is okay.
That grown man.
Ew.
That dude,
Oh my
that
God.
dude.
You know what? That's okay. That is.
Love you, man.
Oh.
Love you, man.
Oh.
We Johnny, you know we got John.
It's okay. I ain't seen y'all in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So that's
it's
all
a
good.
very white voice.
Right?
We'll never find.
Something's wrong with you.
We're in a new segment of the show. This is the Can You Hear Me Now segment. We broached the two topics to you earlier. One was the Bill Cosby situation.
Yep.
Being as though what just happened transpired in last week.
Right.
And the second was the father who was in the park with his daughter at 11:30 night walking through it, was approached by 5 men, one of which had a gun, and told him to leave, or they was going to kill him. They kept his 18-year-old daughter. He ran to get police. They gang raped her. By the time the police came back, it was pretty much over. These were some suspected drug addicts. So we're going to get into both of those topics. This is your chance to text, to Periscope, to call, to email, to Facebook, to Twitter, to Instagram.
No doubt.
Hit us up on Black Planet, MySpace, Mahente.com, Christian Mingle. We're on every single site. You can respond to us.
Yeah,
Are
you serious?
Yes.
I did not know that. Okay.
Even me didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
That's because I made it up.
I didn't know that either.
Okay.
I didn't.
So, first, let's get to Bill Cosby and what's transpired. Before we do that, JB, give them the number, the information so they can call in. We're starting with Bill Cosby, and then we're going to talk about this situation with the New York father who left his daughter.
Right. So the number is, you'll see, you guys watching on Ustream will see it come across your screen on the lower left-hand corner, I believe that is, 404-901-9247. Those of you on Periscope, 404-901-9247. Call in, text in, let us know what you think.
All right. So who wants to take this Bill Cosby thing first? And I'll explain it, and then we'll see who wants to.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So, Bill Cosby has been accused of rape by over 50 or so women. They all came forward around the same time, which is really, really weird. And they have pretty much put out there that he sedated them some kind of way and then had his way with them. They've been a united front. They've shown up on shows together and books together and magazine interviews together, these 50 women. Some of them have gone on to recant their statements. Some of them have gone on to say they absolutely lied. Some of them have gone on to say it's 100% true and we don't care what you think, it's the truth. Some were famous, most were not. most recently, they punished Bill Cosby because of these allegations because it was thought that they couldn't charge him. So they, banned the Cosby Show from being aired on certain channels, certain networks. And as of late last week, right before the end of the beginning of the year, they arrested Bill Cosby, put him on $1 million bail bond,
which he paid.
Which he paid.
I'm sorry, I had to put that out.
And just for for a reference point, Dylan, the guy that ran into the black church and set up killed all those black people in South Carolina, his bail was like 100,000, just to give you an idea,
Right.
Of what's going on. And Bill was arrested. It just came out this week that they could not prosecute him because the evidence against him was so flimsy, so feeble, so didn't just
It's all circumstantial hearsay.
Yeah.
It's all
What
what
said.
somebody said.
What JB said.
Literally, that's all they have.
So no charges will be filed. That was the most recent case, which is about 14 years ago. And a lot of people thought that I guess it was longer than that. I forget the exact time frame. People thought they could still get that one. They can't even get that one. So I don't know if they're going to continue to try to prosecute Bill, or they're just going to vilify him in the media, or they're going to destroy his legacy. And I'm not sure if he deserves it or not. I'm not sure whether he's done it or not. And my opinion changed. I thought Bill Cosby was 100% guilty. I feel differently now. Before we get into my personal feelings on the subject, JB, I wanted to toss it to you now that I've painted the picture and kind of get your take on what's going on.
My take has changed slightly in that, given the weakness of all of the evidence and what has occurred, I don't think that Bill Cosby has broken the law. Personally, I don't think that he has broken the law. I think that they are coming after him, and I think that it's a money grab. However, that being said, it's hard for me to really stand behind a dude morally when 50 plus people are basically saying you're a shady dude. Like, so while I don't want him to go to jail, dude, I can't get, like I said, amongst our friends, I'm not gonna be wearing a free bill, T-shirt nowhere. I don't think that he broke the law, but I'm not gonna actively campaign in his favor because in the absence of additional evidence, I struggle with moral issues behind some of his alleged actions. True, like it's maybe they weren't all breaking the law, but some of them were clearly not cool. I'll put it that way.
What did you think was cool?
Well, personally, and I know it's a fact. I know it's a part of partying for a lot of people, but yeah, I struggle with the dude who in any way takes advantage of a woman who is inebriated.
That is against the law. So
Well,
if you think that he did that, then
well,
you
no,
think
no,
that
no,
he
no,
broke the
no,
law.
and what I mean specific, and again, this is where my code is somewhat different. Like, we have all. I mean, let's get it. Let's keep it real. Like, we have all had drunk sex before. Like that happens. But there's a gray area and there's a line there. And the reason why I can't support him morally is because I don't know whether or not he crossed that line between being drunk or being high with females and engaging in partying behavior, or being the one who set up an environment so females can get drunk and high when he may not necessarily be as drunk or as high. And then achieving his ends in sort of a predatory manner. And I can't judge him, but I also can't support him morally because of the.
So you think he did do that?
I think he would have been guilty of doing that. And I'm not saying that other people don't do that. I certainly know that it is not against the law. I just don't rock with it. Like, that's just not how I move. Those are my thoughts personally.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't there.
True.
I wasn't even thought about when it probably happened. So, well, most of these anyway. So I can't really say free Bill Cosby or lock him up. I can't.
Right.
I just can't because then I'm judging one and taking sides where I don't know all of the facts. First of all, there's no hardcore evidence. Like he couldn't even be charged, because
Right.
the evidence was so flaky. So that's one thing that that's just me. Now, the one thing I have a problem with is I actually watched the Janice Dickinson interview.
Okay.
I I don't know if she's had too many drinks or whatever the case is, but I don't. She a little shaky to me. She couldn't even the interview was so I couldn't even watch the whole thing at first. It was just like, what? You're making no sense at all. Like the um what's the lady that was
Interviewer?
interviewed? Thank you. The interviewer had a brain fart.
Well,
The
you are?
interviewer is right.
Me as the interviewer.
The interviewer was just like, she was, doing her little thing, whatever, and Janice was just like, I can't sleep because of Bill Cosby. I was like, wait, what just happened? Like I promise you, watch the interview.
I don't even understand what you just said.
Thank you. I don't think she understands what she just said.
Well, let me ask you, Mia, if I may. So, I mean, did she come across as like a party girl who attended
Absolutely. She
maybe
was a
two or
supermodel.
too many parties? Cause
Too many.
well, yeah, I mean that throws shade on the whole game though, because I mean you can't. Well, anyway,
I mean,
that's rough.
Just
Yeah.
from her, and I also think it's a money thing as well. For there to be 50 or so women just come out of nowhere. Oh, you right, me? That's coin. I mean, the man posted a $1 million bond. Like, I mean, obviously he got the money, So that's I feel like it's a money thing, and because he's such a pro-black man, like, and he's a big figure as well in the black community. Like, I mean, don't nobody want to see that man succeed, which I think is absolutely crazy. But I mean, that's just the society that we live in. So I mean, I there's nothing that really can persuade me that he did anything. Now, granted, Bill was that man back in the day. I mean, he was, and I'm sure that he, was able to slide in some DMs, but I don't think it was to the point where, I don't think it was really to the point where he had to snatch the drawers. So it's nah.
And that's kind of where I shake out at with it. My personal opinion. I look at what Bill has done. I try to. I know who you are on TV isn't who you are in real life.
Exactly.
But I think it's a portion of it. I think you create things based on something inside of you. Even if it's just if you say it's what I saw in my environment, but the way you created it, based on what you saw, says something about you as well. I don't think Bill Cosby is that demon that they're making him out to be. I can't see anyone raping 50, 60 women.
Yeah,
that's just it's just a lot.
Yeah.
If it had been 2, 3, I would have been like, dang, maybe he did it. But anybody raping 50, 60 women, that is someone who has a problem. I mean, that's essentially killing 50, 60 people. I don't think you get away with that.
No.
I don't think it takes 40, 50 years to come back.
Exactly.
And say, oh, you did this. It
just
doesn't. And I think it's a big money grab. I think that the way the media is trying to persecute him, they haven't had any factual information.
Nope.
They haven't said anything that made sense. And shout out to his lawyer.
Oh my gosh.
Howard University, the real HU graduate student.
I love her.
She is amazing.
Yes. Such class.
Carries herself very well. She did the open circuit this week, the media circuit on Fox and NBC and CNN, and destroyed everybody she came in contact with that wanted to debate her. And I initially thought Bill Cosby was guilty. I said, so many women, how can he not be guilty? But now I'm thinking, so many women, how can he be guilty? And none of them have, no one has a claim that makes any sense as of now.
Exactly.
The strongest thing the prosecution has ever had is that on one question they said, "Did you get these what they call them quaaludes? Did you get these drugs to drug women to have sex?" And he was like, "Yes." And they're like, "Wait a minute," and then it stopped, and then he said, "No." That draws doubt, but I honestly think it's like if somebody said, I invite some girls over to my house. I get a bottle of Ciroc. Yes, I got the bottle to give to them so that we could loosen up and
to have a good time. But that wasn't your initial exactly.
And I think if I pour you a couple drinks and you drink them, and then 40 years later you realize there's some money to be made from having sex with me, maybe you'll come out. Let's see, we have D. Shelton. I'm in agreement with you all. Like, okay.
Oh, that's my sister. Yeah, and I completely, again, I don't think any laws were broken. I really, really don't. I'm not gonna jump up and say, oh my gosh, Bill is the most wonderful person in the world. I'm gonna pay him the greatest respect I can, which is to say, let's wait and see what happens. I don't think the man did it, but I want to see how it all shakes out.
I'm right there with you. The only place that we're different in is that you still kind of think he did something.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm thinking the time when people taking Quaaludes, which Quaaludes, for those who don't know, they are a drug that makes you
right.
They're sleeping pills.
Right.
And the high you get is take as many as you can and to fight the sleep. And if you can fight it long enough,
right,
you get the best high ever, according to them. So when he's with a woman, listen, he's rubbing them with the sleep. Now, if he's giving them to them without their knowledge, that's something completely different.
There it is. There it is.
But he's saying that the women knew what they were taking. They knew it up front. And that's what everybody was taking.
Right.
So in that regard, I saw the movie Wolf of Wall Street. And that's how I really understood what Quaaludes were. I heard about him in Scarface, Tony Montana. When he said, "Pop another Quaalude, she love me again." No, let me do a Scarface. Cardio, man.
Oh my God.
She take another Quaalude, she'll love me again. Let me tell you something, okay? All right, moving on. Mia, JB. All right, moving on. So I understand that, and that's why I don't think he's guilty of even that. Now it ain't even a matter of time will tell. They don't have anything.
Right.
They don't have a case. So that's why I think it's a big smoke screen and trying to take our attention off of Tamir Rice or some of these other issues because they're bringing up cases 20, 30, 40 years old. Like, you don't have a case now. And the fact that they made it a case is what makes me think it's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
This wasn't a week after it happened, or 1 year, or 5 years, or 10 years, or 15 years, or 20 years after, or 25 years after, or 30 years after, or 40 years after. Like I'm not even 40 years old. And some of these accusations are 40 years old. That's how you gotta go, come on, man. I can't rock with it.
Yeah, that makes it tough for us all to even kind of fathom that it's gotten this far. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for Bill. We can only, I hope he comes out of this the right way, and it looks like he's got the right staff and his team to do what needs to be done. I know y'all said it before, but we got to respect the fact that he went out and got the sharpest goddamn black lawyer money. He's like, so I'm raping women? Oh, let me show you the women in my camp. Let me show you why I don't need to rape women.
You know what woman he got?
Yeah.
He got Claire Huxtable. The black female lawyer.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what he's telling the world. Let me tell you why I don't need to rape women. Because these are the women. These are the women who got my back.
And this is the role that I created on my show. Right, exactly. I'm the one that showed a black woman as a lawyer when they wanted me to be a plumber and a housemaid. They tried to change the Cosby Show script. Well, no, initially it started off as a plumber and a housewife, and he changed it and said no. I'm going to be a doctor, she's going to be a lawyer, because this is what our people need to see.
Yep.
NBC for them said, nobody's going to believe that. This can't be real. It's not realistic. You want your show to be people can relate to it. And they say, what do you think our people are doing?
Wow.
We are more than just janitors and housewives.
Wow.
And he made him a doctor and a lawyer. And I think that did a lot for the black community, saying a lot of love for Bill. However, if I thought that he raped those women, I would be saying middle finger Bill. But I don't think he did it. And so I can't condone the persecution of Bill Cosby. But something else I can't condone, which brings us to our second open discussion topic. Can you hear me now? Before we get into that, JB, give them the number to call in.
Yeah, sure thing, man. 404-901-9247. Again, 404-901-9247. New Mayor Show with JD Frank. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? All right.
Can you hear me now? I was just playing with y'all.
I can't. Oh, goodness.
All right. So our second topic.
Yeah.
In the open discussion, you can call in, tweet in, text in. There was a father in New York walking with his 18-year-old daughter. They were cutting through a park. They were approached by 5 fiends, which I take to mean presumably drug addicts, crack addicts, whatever. One of them brandished the gun, told the father to leave, go away now, or he would kill him. The father leaves his 18-year-old daughter. He calls police. He goes and grabs police. They show back up with 2 police officers. But at that point, the daughter has been raped and gangbanged by all 5 men. I saw this story. It was heartbreaking. These 5 despicable men need to be punished to the fullest extent of the law. I think execution will be very lenient. The father, I also think, played a pivotal role in this, a negative role, a role that I can't personally respect. We were discussing this on social media today. People say, hey, somebody puts a gun on you, you never know what you're going to do. People, think they're, strict braver than they are, but somebody puts a gun in your face, you never know. I'm going to tell you, I had a gun in my face. I became very quiet. I didn't have too much more shit to say at that point.
Right.
The conversation was pretty much over. And we're from what? Man, well.
Right.
If you're cool, I'm cool.
I'm sorry, it's not funny, nigga.
All right.
Yeah.
However,
His face was
if
acting.
that gun being pulled out, the words weren't who the baddest now, and the words were shifted to, I'm taking your daughter, I wouldn't have been as quiet. One, I'm protecting my ego. And my ego, it'll live. If I live, my ego will live. So you put a gun on me, I don't have no more trash to talk. End of discussion, I'll get over that. You pull a gun on me and say you taking my daughter, you raping my daughter, I got a little bit more to say at that point. I'm a man. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm an adult. And I have certain principles. I have a code of honor. I'm a spiritual person. There's certain things I live by. I am probably the person that I know, and everybody I know, I'm probably the most afraid to die. I think that's pretty much true. Having said that, my fear of death does not compare to the fear of someone raping my daughter. I don't think I could run or leave if I wanted to. I just don't think that it's something that I can do. And I find it hard to respect someone that can walk away. Maybe you say, well, if he stayed, they kill him and they rape his daughter anyway. Then, like I put on social media today, if my daughter's going to be raped, it will be over my dead body.
Absolutely.
That's it. And she's going to, they say, well, again, she dies, she gets raped, and you die. She doesn't have a father. And I'm like, well, she'll live on knowing she was raped. And it happened over her father's dead body.
Yeah.
He would not leave her side. That's how I feel about it. JB, I don't really know how you feel. I want to throw it to Nia first as a woman.
Yeah, please.
Because I'm pretty sure you're on the same. I get it, JB.
No,
so,
you don't,
so
and
Nia,
that's why I need to express myself. But yeah, let her talk.
I want to throw it to you.
Yeah.
And I want your general thoughts, but I honestly want to know what you would think if it was your father that left you.
Oh.
So I kind of want you to break it down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So if I was this 18-year-old girl in this situation, and for anybody who knows my father, he's 6'6", 300 pounds.
Oh,
Yes.
oh.
Um, to some people, size really doesn't matter because a bullet can take down anybody, regardless of their size. So, that being said, if I'm still in that situation, first of all, my father is like Superman. Okay, and I think any daddy's girl or any girl or woman who has a relationship like the one that I have with my father, they're gonna feel the same exact way. And if my father were to leave me in a situation like that, there would definitely be words. And I would not know how to. That's serious because I'm watching my father walk away from me as there is going to be a time where I'm going to be violated. I know that it would never happen because of the person that my father is. Granted, sometimes the daddy get on my nerves, and I'm trying to get on his. But in that instance right there, just like you said, over his dead body, and that's something that I can say and that I know is to be true. That's just that.
What would you think of your father if he left to get police?
Woo.
Because the father, according to them, didn't just run away. He ran away thinking to get police. My argument is, if my daughter needs help, daddy's
I'm right
help.
there.
The police aren't help. Daddy
he's
is.
right there. So what is it that I don't know. That just no. If he were to leave, oh, I'm gonna go get police. No, you're right here. Do something about it right now. Why is it that you have to go get somebody else to protect me while you're sitting right here? No, that's not gonna fly with me. I'm sorry. And the men that I know that are in my life, I'm gonna tell you this right now. They all have the same exact view as you, the same exact. Because ain't no way they gonna walk away from their daughter, no matter how old they are, how small they are. My father could be smaller than me. He's still standing there, 3'4" and all. Like so that I wouldn't know how to. I would be very angry. I know me. I would be very angry, and I would be confused as well because it's like you're my father. You're supposed to be my protector. What why did you leave? That would be the why. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
and yeah.
JB, I want to turn it over to you. Um,
Yeah.
That's the situation, man.
So there there are maybe three things that define what a man is, and these aren't societal things; these are universal things. This is literally why God put you here. Um, the first is to project your immortality. The first is to spread yourself, your seed, create children, be fruitful and multiply, if you will. In order to do that, you have to protect your children and see your children to adulthood. That is a fundamental aspect of manhood. And if you weren't blessed to be able to have children of yourself in your life, you adopt other children so that you project yourself forward as a man. That is why God put us here. That's number one. Uh, and it's so far ahead of number two and three. I don't even want to mention number two and three in this conversation because that is number one. That is it. That is why we are here. Um, Men can sometimes be irresponsible. Sometimes we lose our heads and we don't think. But in that situation, that is when someone else's life is so far ahead of yours that your life isn't even a part of the thinking process. Like what happens to you isn't even a part of your thought process. So like I would have been like, okay, it's time to die today when I saw 5 niggas roll up. Forget the gun. Like I see 5 niggas looking at my daughter and I'm walking in the park alone. Today is the day I die defending my daughter's life. Maybe I'll kill 2 or 3 of them, and the other ones will get scared and run, or maybe one of them will knock me out, but in the process she can run and get away. I'm a slick try and hand her my cell phone because I know I got more emergency information in my phone than she does. Maybe I might try and slip off a text to New or somebody else, but it's 5. If like forget the gun, it's 5 niggas around my daughter. I'm not going nowhere. I don't care if we at a party. I don't care if we at church. I don't care if we at the police station, dog. Like it's motherfuckers around my daughter. I'm not going nowhere. Like that was the amazing part of the story to me, is that people were so caught up with the gun and the reaction to the gun. But the gun is not relevant when it's your daughter's life. Any danger to your daughter is relevant to you over everything when it comes to your daughter's life. So this is how this would have went down. Them niggas would have walked up, and in the midst of their trying to have that conversation, I would have said, "Run, Ariella, run!" And I would have rushed one of them niggas. It wouldn't have been no conversation. Because I know what the fuck this is. This is already my life over my daughter's life, son. Before they even get a chance to pull out the gun.
I agree.
Like they're gonna have to chase her down, and I would have heard the footsteps, and I'd be like, Daddy made a bad decision, baby. We shouldn't have come this way. It's shorter going that way than it is going the other way. But when I tell you to break and run, don't look back. Don't worry about daddy. Daddy is not your concern right now. You are your concern. It wouldn't even gotten that far.
Yep.
I just had to break that down. I'm sorry. Like that. Those are things that you think about as a father.
I agree. It's things you think about as a man in a relationship. I've told several girlfriends over the years, like, look, man, like, you be out the night, some shit go down, you get to where you can get to. Like, it ain't look back, it ain't stop, it ain't. I was like, I always say, and I'm very dramatic when I speak. I'm like, if I tell you to run, and you be like, but, you're gonna piss me off. Like, don't but me, just get on.
Just go.
Like anyone when I deal with knows if some shit go down, how I feel. And
it's time for you to do what the fuck I say.
Yeah,
period. Point blank.
I always say it's gonna be certain times when it ain't your opinion ain't gonna matter. Like I respect you as a woman, but if it's dudes trying to attack us, I love you so much that you want to fight.
Right.
My nigga, I love you to death. You don't go. Because that ain't your fight to have. That's my fight to have.
Real talk.
And that's how I was raised. And that's what I feel being a man is. So it ain't about how down you are for me. Because good women are so about it nowadays. They be like, if you fighting, I'm fighting. And I'll be like, baby, I love you for it. Love you for it.
I'm that one.
Go. You know what I'm saying? Go. Because something happened to you, I can take an ass whooping. Something happened to you, I might not kill nobody because they whoop my ass.
Now, you gonna run because you're terrified of me. Like I'm gonna be like, run, bitch! Like you're gonna be like, Jesus Christ, like, what the fuck was that? Like I gotta go. That nigga scared the shit out of me.
Shout out to the women that's like, I'm going down with my man. I respect it, but your man don't want you to do it. Trust me. We want you safe.
Real talk.
But I respect it. I love you for it. But we want you safe.
Why don't you go and get the cops?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to that father in that situation, I'll say this. Maybe more news will come out. Maybe we'll find out he was a crackhead and sold his daughter for some crack. I don't know the hell. I don't. Maybe something else will come out. I can't understand how a father would leave his daughter.
No.
So I'm starting to think maybe something else went down. I don't know. But I will say this. I mean, I guess you don't know what'll happen unless you're in that situation. I know what'll happen, but maybe you don't, and maybe I don't know. I don't want to prosecute him. I'll just say it's not what I would have done. It's not what JB would have done. It's not what me and his father would have done. And if you feel differently, call in. Uh, Hit us on Periscope. If you're on Ustream, go to Periscope and this is so crazy. At New the Mayor. If you're on Periscope, you can go to Ustream, New the Mayor, and we can get into some more music.
Yeah, man.
That's our open discussion, man. You guys can feel free to chime in, call in. Every week we're gonna have that open discussion.
No doubt.
And your opinions are just as important as ours.
Yeah, and it's gonna be big topics like that. A lot to say, a lot of different angles. So that don't be a stranger, man. 404-901-9247. Again, 404-901-9247.
Yep. New the Man Show with JB Frank. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back with more of the biggest.
I see the strangest things, the evil that money brings. I swear it's like a disease that goes round and round and round like siren.
Black CNN, live on Ustream, live on Periscope, live on RipRadioNetwork.com,
No doubt.
live on 202productions.us.
Yeah.
We everywhere, man. And we on BET. Okay, I'm lying.
I was
It felt right. It just felt
made
right.
some moves.
It felt right, JB. This is the new year. It felt right.
Yeah. Goodness gracious, that was a move. Yeah, man.
You would have got the Grind and Shine Award for that one.
Yeah.
We have done that. For those who are not familiar with this show, we do awards every week. We give a Grind and Shine Award, the Gas Award, to somebody that's gone above and beyond and handled their business that we want to shout out. We also do the Donald Trump Shut Up Stupid Award. And that goes to whoever says some stuff that they need to just shut up about.
It'd be bad. And it's named after Donald Trump for a reason, y'all.
It'd have been better if you hadn't spoken.
Yeah.
Maybe you should not speak.
Yeah, just stop. Cease and desist.
Well, for those awards, the Gas Award, the Grind and Shine Award, goes to Cam Newton.
Shout out to, I can't call him Killer Cam Super Cam because he's Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Shout out to Super Cam. I like the way Cam has played this season. He led his team the best record in the NFL. Has home court advantage throughout the playoffs. Looks poised to win the Super Bowl this year, to be quite honest. Mm-hmm. And he looks like he's mature. The most important thing that I think he's done is he's put fun back in football. And people know the NFL stood for No Fun League. Yeah. Cam is laughing, joking, dabbing, just doing all of that. And I felt like the start of the year, he, even in this short postseason, which of course he hasn't played yet, he's still the winner right now. And I believe he'll be named the MVP. What you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the odds-on favorite for the MVP award. You're right. He put some more swag back into the league, man, which was sorely needed. But then you look at his touchdowns, both on the ground and in the air. He scored more touchdowns this year than any other quarterback. He did the daggone thing. He deserves the award, no question. The Grind and Shine Award and that MVP award, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I concur on all sides and opinions. Now,
can I send a shout out?
Yeah.
I want to send a shout out to JB Watson. I want to send a shout out to my boo.
You really want me to hurt you, don't you? You really want. First of all, you can't be. I'm gonna send a shout out. Lisa is my mother, so he played all day, all day.
That's
anyway,
crazy.
I'm gonna send a shout out.
Hey, Mom.
Get out of here. To my mother.
Wow.
I can't.
We like the same age, though.
I can't. I So true. I'm leaving. I'm
Wow.
leaving. I really think he about to like really shout out somebody. I was like, yeah.
Hey, I ain't mad though.
But don't get nobody beat up, please.
I ain't
Okay?
mad. I ain't mad.
Hey, Ma, you can comment in our Facebook group and let us know how you really feel. Because I think we.
Anyway, I'm
This
through
guy.
with you. I am so through.
This guy, the Shut Up Stupid Award winner, and new break this down. This one is a little heartbreaking for me.
Yeah, man.
Because
My guy.
he was a former Grind and Shine Award winner, I believe.
Yeah, part of
so
what he did in the movies.
yeah, so
RZA
yeah,
of Wu-Tang Clan, God Body, 5% of my brother, my A-alike. He's gone on to score movies, to write movies, to star in movies, direct movies. I mean, he is transcendent. And he just recently sold a Wu-Tang album for $1 million that we reported a few weeks ago. I get, on the basic level, I agree with this statement. But him making that statement the way he made it at this point, it was like, my new terminology for that is Dame Dashing. He was Dame Dashing. He said that black men should stop scaring police and dress better, and then we won't be getting killed. Whoa, yes, we probably should dress better. We should look professional at times. Maybe that wouldn't scare police as much. However, they are not killing us because of how we're dressed.
Exactly.
They're not killing us because of how we look. They're killing us because we're us. And I don't know. This is a 5%. It's God body. This is Malcolm X, Farrakhan. You know, come on. Like, I don't get it. If he said, brothers, we need to dress better because we need to dress better. We need to look like businessmen, brothers. That's how we need to carry ourselves. That's what our women want to see us look like. That's how we need to carry ourselves in public. We need to change the appearance of the stereotype of our appearance. We need to show them we can look like bosses. If he had said that, I would have given the Grind and Shine Award.
Exactly. I can definitely rock
He
with
said
that.
we need to wear suits and stuff so we don't scare police so we don't get killed.
here's why I have this trouble with this on two levels. One, the police aren't just killing men who are on their way to work or on their way from work. In fact, very few men have been involved in those types of situations with the police. The police are killing young boys. The police are harassing young teenage girls. Um, how do we expect our young boys and girls to dress? Like, um, what teenager on earth dresses for like business attire or work in a respectable way? American tradition has always been criticizing the way teenagers have dressed since the 40s.
Yeah.
Both black and white. The black teenagers are always the ones who dictate fashion, who actually dress better than the white kids because we have been hearing that shit for generations.
Mm-hmm.
You and I both, all of us know what it is to grow up and be a black teenager and have our parents be like, "You're not going out the house
Looking
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are representing me." So that entire statement gets a Shut Up Stupid Award because it's not even based on fact. Like it's just utter and complete bullshit. And we need to let it go and we need to let our kids be American kids and stop trying to turn them into something that they're not. And we need to understand that America needs to change.
Right.
Not our kids.
Exactly.
There you go.
So,
yeah.
RZA, you get the Donald Trump
Shut Up Stupid Award.
Shut up, stupid.
God. Wow.
Moving
Yeah,
on.
let's move on. Goodness
So
gracious.
sweet.
And you kind of alluded to this, JB. I want to talk about the Tamir Rice shooting and the fact that the police officers this week, they won't be charged. There'll be no charges found. For those who don't know, Tamir Rice is a young kid in Chicago, 12 years old, that was out playing shoot 'em up with his BB gun. So he's in the circle shooting at imaginary bad guys. Someone calls the police department and says there's a man out there playing with a gun, or it could be a kid with a toy.
So there was an option of which one the police was going to think it was, and they thought, oh, man with a gun.
Right, and that's what they relayed to the officers.
And then you see that this is not a man, that this is a child, and you still gun him down. Okay.
Yeah, and this happened, I believe September 2014, 15 maybe, 14 maybe, and the decisions come down and they're not going to press any charges. There've been some peaceful protests. There was a lot of crap with LeBron James saying he wasn't too familiar with the case. He didn't want to speak on it. I mean, the kid had a toy gun. At a distance, you don't know what that is. But as looking at a child that's outside playing with it, I think you know a difference. I have to believe that if a kid's running up and down shooting at imaginary bad guys, you gotta know the difference and who you're dealing with. Maybe not what's in his hand, but who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I think police are way too paranoid. I think they're acting scared, or they're just racist and they're just doing this and blaming it on different things. They're either cold-blooded killers or the police are turning into some pussies. I don't know what to say. I don't know no other way to say it. They're cold-blooded killing our kids, or they are soft now and they are petrified and don't need to be police.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that in these types of situations, I have to just admit to myself that numbers don't lie, and that um, unfortunately, a lot of police have a lot of hate in their heart right now for black men, particularly young black men. New and I'm always reluctant to claim or cry conspiracy, but one thing I will claim very quickly is pervasive madness, and I think that again, with a black man in the White House, with black people winning the way they are, so many former so-called authority figures are just so terrified about the way their society is changing. They're fighting back, and they're fighting back in a horribly genocidal way, and they don't even understand that they're doing it consciously. They're just doing it because they are so resentful of black people's progress right now.
I think they know why they're doing it. I think it's the plot.
You think they all got together and decided to do it?
I don't think they all got together. I think there was some that got together, and I think that message is being proliferated. I honestly do. I honestly believe that
either way,
random occurrences.
Yeah, you and I both agree on that, though, and I'll say that the first step into fixing this is understanding that these are not random occurrence, like they are happening way too often for a very, very, very specific group.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not even predominantly killing black adults. This is really, really bad.
They're killing our babies and our women, man.
Yeah, like these are people who clearly are not doing anything to threaten people.
And from what it seems like, just from what New just said, they're killing women and children. The children are not going to have the opportunity to grow up and to be that man or that woman to go and find a cure for cancer or fight AIDS or whatever the case is. And then the women, how did we get here?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like okay, we're trying to wipe out. That's how I kind of see it.
They saw what happened when you let 2 or 3 of us slip by unnoticed. Oh shit! One of them got into what? Oh shit! They're making $billion deals. Like what? Shit! How do we let these niggas slip by? Hey, you know what? Nah, Ain't no more of them
Exactly.
niggas
Like,
slip by. That's really what I think is happening.
There are those us women are breeding these children that are coming up,
bringing powerful men into the world.
And they're like, wait, hold on, we're gonna have to do something about this. We got to do something about this.
See what they can do now. They picked up 2 terms in the White House without breaking a sweat. Like, hold up. Like, a black man is currently the most powerful man on earth. Like,
and you can tell by the candidates they're bringing up after him how they really feel. That's why Donald Trump is so to the forefront of the Republican Party.
Good segue.
And at one of his rallies, a Muslim woman showed up in full Muslim garb and stood throughout the rally in silent protest. I watched the video. Now, one, she had the right to do that. Donald Trump has been an asshole. He's been disrespectful. He has talked about killing Muslims. He said because Al Qaeda, we should just go kill Muslim babies and Muslim women. Kill their families. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who does that sound like, people?
Yeah.
Hitler to me.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Very much so.
So she stood in silent protest, and she was forcibly removed, of course. Mm-hmm. And there were white men running and jumping in this woman's face, just all throughout the crowd. What you doing? And pointing in her face and yelling and screaming at her. And I was like, man, like as I'm God body 5%, but for those who can't go any deeper, they don't know what that means. I'm a black Muslim, to give you an idea. And that, they won't do it to me, man. Well, some of them probably would try. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. Some of them are bold.
Yeah.
But do it to me, though. Don't do it to a woman. Like, you can say, well, she shouldn't have been at the rally. Well, she protested, and she had the right to be escorted out. But all of that cowardly running and jumping in her face and all that, I just don't respect it, man. And I don't respect Donald Trump or anybody that would be at his rally.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she stood in silent protest, which is a very, very courageous thing to do.
That's why they were so mad.
At a Donald Trump rally. She was not disrespectful.
At all.
The way, quote, peaceful, unquote, protesters have been at Barack Obama speeches, where they call him a liar and they call him this, that, and the third while he's talking. She did none of these things. She just stood silently and respectfully. And they felt to need to berate her and
because they're cowards.
You know, I mean, yes, escorting her out of the building probably needed to happen. Like, you can't have a protest at your campaign speech, whatever. But the way that these people responded, the way that it went down, just shows you the quality of this man's character. And there is none.
Absolutely. And he did nothing to stop it.
There is none.
And speaking of the way things are going down, we got to take a look at what happened with Yo Gotti's artist, Black Youngster, who made his name as the guy who got Shaq Lee's chain back. Shaq Lee is a rapper from DC, was in Memphis, got into disagreement with some other artists. They snatched his chain. Yo Gotti's the self-proclaimed king of Memphis had his artist Black Youngster go and get the chain back, paid a couple $1,000 for it, got it back to Shaq Lee. Moving on to the day, Black Youngster went to the bank, Wells Fargo, which we no longer support, went to their bank to withdraw some money. He withdrew $200,000, and they called the police and had him harassed. He was slammed to the ground. They couldn't find him guilty of any charge. This happened in Atlanta. Couldn't find him guilty of any charges, so they let him go. He Instagrammed it immediately. They don't think a young black man can have $200,000 in the bank to withdraw. I went to the bank legally to withdraw my legal money, and they attacked me, and I won't be banking with Wells Fargo again. Wells Fargo is not available for comment, surprisingly. Wow. But and this happened in Atlanta about 2 days ago.
Wow. Yeah. That's all I can say to this. Like, how stupid can you be? Do you know how much ID and what he had to show to verify to get $200,000 in cash? Like, when you're at the point where you're confident enough to walk up to a bank teller and say, All right, New. We're back. New to Bear Show with JB Frank. Winding down last week, winding up next week. We got to start with what happened over the weekend, New, in the NFL. The playoffs, man. I don't think there were any surprises, New.
Nah, there were no surprises. The only surprise was maybe how close some of the games were.
Exactly.
The Seahawks beat the Vikings in the most surprising game, I think, of the playoffs.
Yeah,
I
missed
thought
field goal. Yeah.
The Vikings kicker missed a field goal, 27-yarder at the end of the game to win it. If you don't understand, watch Sports Center tonight.
Right.
And I'm sure they'll list how many times a 27-yard field goal or shorter was missed to win a game in the playoffs. It'll probably be one. That's the Knights. That is an easy field goal. And he shanked it, and the Seahawks live to see another day.
Yeah.
The better team won.
Right. Well, but then you got the Chargers the Chiefs who mollywopped
the Texans.
The Texans.
Yeah.
30-0, New.
I didn't think the Texans belonged in the playoffs.
Right.
I don't think the Redskins belong in the playoffs. And the Texans looked like they did not belong in the playoffs.
Absolutely. I mean, the Redskins lost today too. They lost 32-18.
35.
35. Well, they picked up another field goal. Okay, so 35-18. And the game. That's fine. That's fine. You know, it's Cowboy hate. That's fine. You know, I didn't expect them to go anywhere in the playoffs. I think they have the same problem that they continue to have, which is they start on fire and then fizzle out near the end of the game. That's exactly what happened.
I look at the Skins. I thought they had a decent season. I just thought they were
right.
I didn't think they deserved to be in the playoffs. I think they were the best out of trash. They didn't beat anybody with a winning record this season, and they still have it. And that's kind of what I expected. But I thought that the Packers were the second. Well, yeah, I think the Packers were the second. I think the Texans, the Redskins, and the Packers just didn't deserve to be in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I mean, you get that in wild card teams.
Yeah, I guess the Packers were the best of those three because they're the only ones that won. So,
I don't think the Packers are winning next week, though.
Hell no. I'm just being honest.
I see.
Shout out to the Steelers, man. They won it. That was a tough game. I mean, I want to give Cincinnati credit. They didn't have the starting quarterback.
Right.
But A.J. McCarron has been playing.
Yeah.
Cowboys. That's what you do. You get a backup quarterback that's as good as A.J. McCarron. So when your starting quarterback gets injured, your whole season doesn't go to shit. Just because you're not prepared.
Is you mad or not?
Oh, I'm mad. I'm mad.
He has a reason to be mad, but there's something else going on with the Cowboys because that drop off was precipitous when Tony Romo left. Like something happened.
They let our running back go too.
But that's what I'm saying.
You lose your starting and Dez Bryant was hurt.
Yeah.
You lose your starting running back, starting quarterback, and starting wide receiver.
Statistically, you lost 90% of your offense to 3 injuries. I mean, that's real. So I think you're right in that personnel decisions need to be made better, but I think they need to be made in other places in addition to the quarterback position is what I'm saying from Dallas' standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm looking at us. I mean, DeMarco Murray, Darren McFadden was fourth in the NFL in rushing.
Yeah.
So I think that if we had a serviceable quarterback, we would have won the division easily. I think that's the only reason we didn't win the division. Now, we might not have won a playoff game, but the only reason we didn't win the division was because we didn't have a quarterback.
Well, I think that, but see, I think that it goes deeper than that because I think if you had a serviceable second option at wide receiver, then and again that's aside from Jason Witten because when everything else collapses, then teams have one person to defend, and that's Jason Witten. And I think even with a backup quarterback in, you need more than one person to defend. In the passing game.
Yeah, and the thing is, Terrence Williams, Cole Beasley, we got that. We just have a quarterback to throw the ball.
Interesting. That being said, folks, the Packers squeak. Well, they beat the Redskins. The Seahawks squeaked by the Vikings today, like we said. The Steelers, that was the weirdest game because the Bengals basically gave the Steelers that game at the end of the game. There were two penalties to put the Steelers in field goal range, and that's how the Steelers won that game. So that game was just oddball, crack, crazy. I mean, three people went out of the game with injuries. Giovanni Bernard got knocked out cold. Somebody else got a concussion. And then Roethlisberger had a shoulder injury. Roethlisberger wound up coming back and throwing the winning touchdown pass. But it wasn't really a winning touchdown pass because it also required a winning field goal that, like they got 30 yards in penalties to get him there. So it was a really weird game.
And next week we have the Chiefs versus the Patriots, JB. Who you got in that game?
That is a tough one to pick. New England is my other home team, but the Chiefs really scared the crap out of me. The Chiefs have a chance to win that game. I don't think that they will, but they have a really, really good chance to win it. I'm picking the Patriots.
Okay, everything in me says I should pick the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tom Brady's not 100%. Yeah. I think they've had just one too many injuries, and I think that they won't be able to overcome it. If they were fully healthy, I think they might win the Super Bowl, but they're not. And since they're not, even though they're in New England, Foxborough, we're going with the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's a good pick. I respect that pick. Let's move on.
Packers and Cardinals. I've been with the Cardinals all season. They my pick to. They were my pick all season to come out of the NFC, and I got them beating the Packers.
I agree. The Cardinals are going to beat the Packers.
All right. Seahawks and Panthers, Jimmy?
Seahawks and Panthers. Now, on paper, this looks like a really, really tough matchup because of the Seahawks' really, really tough defense. However, the Panthers just have too many weapons. The Panthers are strong over the middle with Greg Olsen. Ted Ginn can still catch the football. And Cam can beat you with his legs. That'll be somewhat neutralized by Cam Chandler, the strong safety, and the outside linebacker play. I don't think he'll be able to run around as much because, again, Teddy Bridgewater had that trouble this week. But I think that the Panthers just have too many tools, too many weapons. I think they're going to beat the Seahawks.
I have fear picking against the Seahawks like I fear picking against the Patriots.
Right.
But I'm picking against both of them. I'm going the Panthers to win this game.
That's
in
real.
Carolina. Steelers, Broncos. The Steelers have what I think is the most potent offense in football, even with their injuries. And the Broncos have the most potent defense in football. So when the best offense plays the best defense, I am inclined to believe the best offense wins. Unless Peyton goes back a year or two and becomes Peyton of old, I think the Steelers can win this game. I think the best offense will beat the best defense.
Interesting. I actually feel in complete opposite. I think that better defenses win in the playoffs, and I think that for that reason, the Broncos are actually going to beat the Steelers. I actually see this as a pretty low scoring game. I think it's going to be one of those 10-6 type of games, but I think the Broncos will win. So that gives me the Patriots and the Broncos in the title game, and the Panthers and the Cardinals in the title game.
And I got the Chiefs versus the Steelers, and the Cardinals versus the Panthers.
Okay, who's going to the Super Bowl?
My mind says it'll be the Cardinals versus the Steelers, and a repeat of all the Super Bowl. I'm going with my heart, and I'm going with Cam Newton to play the Steelers. I'm going with my heart. I know the way to say it. I want Cam to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm going with my heart over my mind.
I think that I also want Cam to play in the Super Bowl, but unfortunately I don't think he will. I think that the Cardinals will play the Broncos in the Super Bowl. Um, yes, I am picking against my Patriots in the championship game if they go. I see Cardinals, Broncos, and I see Peyton finally getting the second chip. Kind of stumbling his way in there, but I think the defense will do it for
And that would be a great ending to his career.
him.
To get that ring and retire.
Yep.
Just like John Elway.
Yep.
I can see it, JB. I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I think they'll stumble into it. I really do.
Let's shout out a few people before we get out of here. Hall of Fame finalist list is out. Brett Favre is on it. Does he make it, JB?
Yes. I hope not, but yes. I don't think he deserves it, but yes.
T.O. was on. Does he make it, JB?
Yes, and he deserves it.
I'm a yes on both. I'm not a Brett Favre fan. He's my least favorite player, but I think he makes it. Kurt Warner.
Not this time. No.
I'm gonna say he should make it this time. I think he started playing at age 29, and he's in the record books for a lot of stuff. He only played like 5-6 seasons.
Yeah.
He took the Cardinals to the Super Bowl the last time they went. He was the quarterback for the greatest show on turf. Just a bad. Yeah, he was a
great quarterback. He was.
Marvin Harrison.
Yes.
I'll say yes. I don't know if he's just too vanilla for me, but
he might have been the first receiver to catch more than 130 passes in a single season. So I know a couple of others have done it since then, but I think he was the first one to do it. He was the possession receiver during that time.
Right. So we'll see. Congrats to them, and congrats to Dale Griffey Jr.
Yeah,
Ken Griffey Jr. He made it to the Hall of Fame in the National Baseball, Major League Baseball, and he has the highest percentage rate for votes to get in the history of professional baseball.
Well deserved.
Shout out Ken Griffey. That's our show for tonight. New The Mayor's show with JB Frank, me and more in the building.
No doubt.
Black CNN will be back next Sunday to see how right I was with football, how wrong JB was.
Whatever.
And see what kind of makeup me is going to wear next week.
Good night and God bless y'all.
Uno, we out.